I'm about to tell you something that will completely change how you experience anger. But first, you need to understand why you've been approaching this wrong your entire life. You think anger is something that happens to you, that people make you angry, that circumstances cause your frustration. And because you believe this lie, you've spent years trying to control the wrong thing. You've tried to avoid difficult people. You've tried to create the perfect circumstances. You've tried to get everyone to behave the way you want them to. And it hasn't worked, has it? That's because you've been looking in the wrong direction. The real answer is somewhere you'd never expect. Here's the truth nobody wants to hear. You've given your power away. You've handed the remote control of your emotional state to someone who probably isn't even thinking about you anymore. While you're stewing in anger and frustration, they've moved on with their day, and you're left carrying this weight, this tension, this storm inside your mind that affects your productivity, your relationships, and your peace. But what if I told you there's another way? What if you could encounter these same situations, the rude people, the unfair circumstances, the disappointments, and remain completely unbothered, not because you've become cold or indifferent, but because you've developed something far more powerful: emotional mastery. This isn't about suppressing your feelings or pretending everything is fine. It's about understanding where emotions actually come from and reclaiming the control you've unconsciously given away. It's about building an inner fortress that remains peaceful no matter what chaos swirls outside. Today you're about to embark on a journey. Not a journey to some distant place, but an inward expedition to discover the unshakable calm that's been inside you all along. Comment: I'm ready, if you're done letting other people control your emotional state. Let's see who's actually committed here. Think of someone you admire who seems to glide through life's difficulties with grace. Maybe it's a mentor, a friend, or even a character from history. They face the same human challenges: disrespect, setbacks, criticism, but somehow they don't crumble, they don't explode, they remain centered. They're not superhuman. They haven't eliminated difficult people from their lives or found some magical circumstance where nothing ever goes wrong. Instead, they've learned something crucial. Your emotional state is an inside job. The ancient Stoics understood this thousands of years ago. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful men in the world as Roman emperor, wrote in his private journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That realization is your call to adventure. Right now, in this moment, you're standing at a threshold. On one side is the old pattern of reactivity. On the other side is freedom. Let's cross it together. Lesson 1. Take complete ownership of your emotions. The first step into this new territory requires radical honesty. Nobody makes you angry. Nobody makes you upset. I know that sounds harsh, especially when someone has genuinely wronged you. But here's the distinction that changes everything. People can do things you don't like, things that are objectively wrong or hurtful, but your emotional response to those actions belongs entirely to you. Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist who survived Nazi concentration camps, discovered something profound in the midst of unimaginable suffering. He observed that between what happens to you and how you respond, there's a gap, a space. And in that space lives your greatest power, the power to choose your response. When you blame others for how you feel, you're essentially saying, "I have no control here. I'm a victim of whatever anyone decides to do or say." But when you take ownership, you're declaring, "I may not control what happens, but I absolutely control what it means to me and how I respond." This doesn't mean you excuse bad behavior. It doesn't mean you become a doormat. It means you stop outsourcing your emotional well-being to people and circumstances that are inherently unreliable. Lesson 2. Understand that reactions are learned patterns. Here's something liberating. Your current reactions to frustration aren't who you are. They're simply what you've practiced. Every time you've exploded in anger or spiraled into frustration, you've strengthened a neural pathway. You've taught your brain, this is what we do in this situation. But patterns can be unlearned. New ones can be created. Lesson 3. Release grudges like they're burning your hands. Imagine carrying a hot coal in your bare hands, waiting for the right moment to throw it at someone who wronged you. That's what holding a grudge feels like. The person you're angry at might be living their best life, completely unaware of your internal torment, while you're the one getting burned. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, put it perfectly. Anger is an acid that can do more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than to anything on which it is poured. Letting go isn't about them. It's about you. It's about refusing to give someone who hurt you the continued power to hurt you every single day through your own thoughts. When you replay that argument, that betrayal, that disappointment, you're essentially volunteering to relive the pain over and over. But how do you actually let go? Start by recognizing that holding on to anger is a choice you're making. Then ask yourself, is this grudge serving me? Is it making my life better? Is it bringing me peace? The answer is always no. Sometimes we hold grudges because we think releasing them means we're saying what happened was okay. But that's not true. You can acknowledge the wrong, learn from it, protect yourself from it happening again, and release the emotional charge. Lesson 4. Practice radical acceptance of reality. Here's a hard truth. Reality doesn't negotiate. Fighting against what's already happened is like arguing with the weather. The traffic jam exists whether you rage about it or not. Your colleague took credit whether you fume about it or not. The person cut in line whether you're furious or calm. Acceptance doesn't mean approval. It doesn't mean you like what happened or that you won't work to change future circumstances. It means you stop wasting precious energy denying or resisting what's already true. The Buddhist concept of non-attachment teaches us that suffering comes from wanting reality to be different than it is. When you can look at a difficult situation and say, this is what's happening right now, without layering on stories about how unfair it is or how it shouldn't be this way, you immediately cut your suffering in half. You conserve your energy for what actually matters, deciding what you'll do next. Lesson 5. Set boundaries without guilt. One of the biggest reasons people get angry and bothered is that they have weak or non-existent boundaries. They say yes when they mean no. They tolerate disrespect because they don't want to seem difficult. They absorb other people's problems and emotional chaos because they think that's what being kind requires. But here's the reality. Boundaries aren't walls, they're gates. They determine what you allow in and what you keep out. And maintaining them isn't selfish, it's self-preservation. You don't owe everyone access to your time, energy, or emotional space. You don't have to answer every call, respond to every demand, or engage with every provocation. When someone repeatedly disrespects you, crosses your clearly stated limits, or drains your energy, you have every right to distance yourself. The key is to set boundaries calmly and clearly, not from a place of anger, but from a place of self-respect. You don't need to justify them excessively. You don't need to get drawn into debates about whether your boundaries are reasonable. Reasonable to whom? They're your boundaries. They exist to protect your peace and well-being. Practice saying these phrases. That doesn't work for me. I'm not available for that. I need to step back from this conversation. Notice how you don't have to be angry or aggressive to assert yourself. You can be firm and kind simultaneously. Lesson 6. Protect your energy, like it's sacred. Your emotional energy is finite. Every day, you wake up with a certain amount of it, and how you spend it determines the quality of your life. When you allow every annoyance, every rude comment, every petty drama to drain you, you're left depleted for the things and people that actually matter. Start thinking of yourself as the guardian of your own energy. Ask yourself regularly, is this worth my energy? Does engaging with this situation, this person, this argument serve my highest good? Sometimes the most powerful response to someone trying to bother you is no response at all. Not because you're afraid of confrontation, but because you've decided they haven't earned your energy. There's a subtle but crucial difference between avoiding conflict out of fear and choosing not to engage out of wisdom. Learn to recognize energy vampires, people who consistently leave you feeling drained, frustrated, or upset. Minimize your exposure to them when possible. When it's not possible, like with co-workers or family members, learn to interact with them while maintaining an internal shield. Be polite, be professional, but don't open yourself up emotionally. Your peace is precious. Guard it accordingly. Lesson 7. Reframe criticism as data, not attack. When someone criticizes you, your immediate instinct is probably defensive. Your brain interprets it as a threat, and suddenly you're in fight or flight mode. But what if you could train yourself to hear criticism differently? Imagine you're a scientist collecting data about an experiment. When something doesn't work, you don't take it personally. You simply note the information and adjust. You can approach criticism the same way. When someone offers feedback, whether it's delivered kindly or harshly, ask yourself, is there any truth here? Is there anything useful I can extract from this? Sometimes the answer is yes. Someone might have a legitimate point, even if their delivery was poor. In those cases, you've just received valuable information for growth. Sometimes the answer is no. The criticism says more about the critic's insecurities, biases, or bad mood than it does about you. In those cases, you can simply discard it like junk mail. You don't get upset when junk mail arrives in your mailbox. You just throw it away. Do the same with baseless criticism. The key is to separate the message from the emotion. When you can do this, criticism loses its power to ruin your day. You become teachable and resilient simultaneously. Here's an advanced technique. Thank people for their feedback, even when it stings. Not sarcastically, but genuinely. Because whether the criticism is valid or not, you're practicing something powerful. You're training yourself not to need everyone's approval. You're demonstrating that your sense of self isn't so fragile that it shatters under scrutiny. Lesson 8. Choose your battles wisely. Not every wrong needs to be righted. Not every insult needs to be addressed. Not every person needs to be corrected, educated, or put in their place. In fact, most don't. There's an old saying, don't wrestle with pigs. You both get dirty and the pig likes it. Some people are looking for a fight. Some people want to drag you into their drama, their negativity, their chaos. When you engage, you're giving them exactly what they want and losing your peace in the process. Before you respond to something that bothers you, ask yourself 3 questions. Will this matter in a week, a month, a year? If the answer is no, it's probably not worth your emotional energy. Is this person open to understanding or resolution? If they're just looking to vent, argue, or dominate, your words won't change anything. What will engaging cost me? If the cost to your peace, time, or energy outweighs any potential benefit, walk away. Marcus Aurelius, despite being emperor of Rome with the power to crush anyone who insulted him, chose his battles carefully. He wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." In other words, don't let someone's bad behavior turn you into a worse version of yourself. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is nothing at all. Sometimes silence is the most powerful response. Not because you're weak, not because you don't have a comeback, but because you've decided your peace matters more than proving a point. Lesson 9. Zoom out and gain perspective. When you're in the middle of feeling angry or bothered, everything feels enormous. That insult feels like a catastrophe. That setback feels insurmountable. But here's a powerful technique. Zoom out. Imagine looking at this moment from above, like you're watching a movie of your life. Now zoom out further. Imagine viewing your entire week. Does this moment still seem as significant? Zoom out to your entire year, to your whole life, to the span of human history. Suddenly that thing that felt world-ending becomes much smaller, not because it doesn't matter at all, but because you've gained perspective. You've reminded yourself that this is one moment in a vast tapestry of moments, and you get to decide how much weight it carries. The Stoics practiced something called the view from above, where they'd imagine themselves from a cosmic perspective to remember how brief and small our troubles really are. This isn't about dismissing your feelings or pretending nothing matters. It's about right-sizing your problems so they don't consume you. When someone cuts you off in traffic, will you remember it in 5 years? When someone makes a rude comment, will it define your life story? The answer is almost always no, unless you let it by giving it disproportionate attention and energy. Lesson 10. Cultivate daily self-awareness practices. Everything we've discussed requires one fundamental skill: self-awareness. You need to be able to notice when you're getting triggered before you fully react. You need to recognize your patterns, your hot buttons, your habitual responses. This is where daily practices become essential. Meditation, even just 5 minutes a day, trains you to observe your thoughts and emotions without immediately acting on them. You create that crucial gap Viktor Frankl talked about, the space between stimulus and response. Journaling helps you process emotions constructively instead of stuffing them down or exploding outward. When you write about what bothered you, you often discover the real issue underneath the surface annoyance. Regular self-check-ins throughout the day, pausing to ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? What do I need? Keep you connected to your emotional state before it escalates. Breathwork, especially when you feel anger rising, activates your parasympathetic nervous system and short-circuits the fight-or-flight response. Try this. When you feel frustration building, take 6 deep breaths, counting to 4 on the inhale and 6 on the exhale. This simple act can completely change your physiological state. The person who never gets angry or bothered isn't someone who's eliminated emotions. They're someone who's become so attuned to their inner world that they can navigate it skillfully. They feel the irritation arise, and they choose their response consciously instead of reacting automatically. So what does life look like on the other side of this journey? What awaits you when you've internalized these lessons and made them part of who you are? You wake up feeling lighter. Someone's bad mood at breakfast doesn't infiltrate your entire morning. You encounter a rude cashier, and instead of letting it fester, you recognize that their behavior isn't about you. Maybe they're having the worst day of their life. Maybe they're dealing with pain you can't see. You feel compassion instead of anger, or at the very least, you feel nothing instead of rage. You're in a meeting, and someone takes credit for your work. You notice the familiar sensation starting to rise, that heat, that tightness. But you catch it early. You take a breath. You recognize the pattern, and you make a conscious choice about how to respond. Maybe you calmly clarify your contribution. Maybe you decide it's not worth addressing right now. Either way, you're in control. You're not hijacked. You navigate difficult conversations without losing yourself. You set boundaries clearly and calmly. You say no without guilt. You engage when it serves you and disengage when it doesn't. You stop carrying the weight of other people's dysfunction, judgment, or chaos. Here's what's truly remarkable. People notice. Your relationships improve because you're no longer reactive and defensive. Your health improves because you're not chronically stressed and angry. Your productivity increases because you're not wasting hours ruminating over things that don't matter. Your overall sense of well-being transforms. But this isn't a destination. It's a practice. You won't master it overnight. There will be days when you slip back into old patterns, when someone pushes exactly the right button and you react before you can stop yourself. That's okay. That's human. The difference is that now you'll recognize it, learn from it, and return to center faster each time. Every moment is an opportunity to choose differently. Every frustration is a chance to practice these lessons. Every difficult person is paradoxically your teacher, showing you where you still have work to do, where